Welcome to Fourth and Goal. Tonight, we've got the Hall of Fame game, and we're drinking something special that they drink on one of my favorite shows. But due to copyright infringement laws, I'm going to call it the Sneaky Grinders. So, grab a glass, put the game on mute, and take a fucking listen.
Let's do this.
Welcome to Fourth and Goal. Thank you for listening to my Scottish introduction, apparently, according to my co-host, Dick here. Say what's up, Dick.
What's up, Dreamers?
Thanks for joining us today. It's been a minute, but as usual, we're drinking whiskey, we're watching football, and enjoying the world of sports. Today, we will be talking... Oh, great. Now I can't get rid of that accent. Today, we'll be talking Watson, the Hall of Fame game, and we're going to continue our divisional breakdown as we talk about the AFC and NFC South. Before we do all of that, Dick, do your part and let these people know where they could hear, see, view, enjoy, partake in all of our festivities.
All right. Thanks for that, Kurt. I really don't think I need to do anything now that you just pretty much covered it all. I'll just give you the details, the more tactical execution of your strategic introduction. Really want to make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms. The big one to hit us up on is Instagram, but you can also follow us on Facebook, and making sure that you're liking, subscribing to us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Google, Audible, Castbox, all your favorite podcast streaming services. And don't forget to give us a visit over at fourthdramandgoal.com, where you can read all about us, see our Instagram feed, learn a little bit more about what makes Kurt and Dick us, and shoot us an email at fourthdramandgoal@gmail.com. We can, see what you're up to, see any suggestions you have for the show, and, always make sure that we're engaging with our audience. So, Kurt, with that, I know we usually do like a shoot the shit segment right here, but I think we have so much shit to get caught up on that let's just talk about what we got in our glass and maybe make our second dram like a catch up, like a what's going on lately section. What do you think?
I like it. We do have a lot to talk about, and usually this is where we would fill you all in, but don't forget, we have stickers now.
We do have stickers. Yeah.
They are legit stickers.
They're legit stickers. Our first run, they're fit perfectly in the back of a cell phone case or, on a computer, whatever your liking is. If you want one, we have a limited supply. Give us a direct message via Instagram, and we will make sure to coordinate with you and hopefully get some to you as soon as possible.
Awesome. My boy's wicked smart. Came up with the idea and got them created, and we are ready to get those things out. So what's in our glass? As I said in my intro, all jokes aside, we are drinking the Bushmills Prohibition Recipe Peaky Blinders Edition Irish Whiskey. Dick had asked me probably about a month ago now, if I would buy it, and I'm absolutely a sucker for good marketing and anything manly man. So I did grab it as soon as I saw it at Total Wine, and I was even more excited to grab it when I saw that it was $27. It has this cool label on it that works the show into it. Shelby Company limited edition Irish Whiskey Prohibition Blend by order of the Shelby Company. Just really cool stuff if you're a fan of the show. And did I say aged for a minimum of 3 years? Made at the old Bushmills distillery.
I don't think you said that, but now you did.
But now I did. So that was awesome. So that's what we're drinking. I'm excited. Bushmills has been kind of my cheap airplane bottle go-to at times. If I do want an Irish whiskey and do crave that little taste that it involves with its, what is it?
92 proof?
That non-chill filtered?
Non-chill filtered, yeah.
92 proof.
Airplanes have a lot of non-chilled filtered. They have Jack Daniels, Bushmills, those two.
It's also because it's usually your cheaper whiskeys there, buddy.
Yeah, well, they usually have wild turkey, just regular wild turkey on there too.
I don't know. Bushmills is one of those like Jack Daniels where there's a little bit of Irish that comes out of me when I've drank some, and it can get a little bit like angry. So I don't know if I'd want to drink that. It's just so hot going down.
Really?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's different over there, I guess. It's probably the water with all the drunks piss in it. Anyway, so as Dick said, second dram, usually our headlines, but we've had so much going on between us that we'd like to just kind of be a personal get personal today and share our stories. So, on to the second dram, Dick.
All right, let's do it. So first and foremost, let's talk about you and I's most recent adventure, which you had to remind me of because it's been so long since we recorded that it's almost like a small ellipse in the time sequence has happened that I don't remember. So what I would say is
that was the very hard way to just say it's been a while.
Since I could say, yeah, it's been a while. So we got together, what was it, like 3 weeks ago?
I believe so. I think it was
in
3
Houston
weekends at this point. Yes.
Family and I drove out to H-Town, hold it down. Got to do some good drinking. We did a wine night the first night. We stayed very classy, San Diego. And then we did a little bit of day drinking and headed over.
Classy is, I'm going to interrupt you there because classy is a little loose there because what happened is we had very good wine, felt very good. And you got so good that you decided to order 12 bottles.
It was 6
of Moscato and Prosecco.
6.
And yeah, so that ended up getting delivered to the house, which I still have because, like I texted you, I don't know what the hell I'm not throwing a wedding anytime soon. So
I told you to throw a Mary Kay Tupperware party, man. Come on.
I don't know. Anyway, so continue.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome. We went to a couple breweries that Kurt has already gone to, but it was my first time, my wife's first time, kids' first time, etc. But I've always wanted to go to St. Arnold's, so thank you for taking us to both of those places. But St. Arnold's and Buffalo Bayou, which was a pleasant surprise. I think you took an awesome picture from Buffalo of the Houston skyline there with that very odd, like Hawaiian Kolsch, or what was that? You remember?
Yeah, it was as I pull up. Talk about the food while I looked at it. Because
the food was legit.
Surprisingly good, right?
The food was very good. Yeah. The food was awesome. And then at the same time, they had like, I don't know how many, they had like 16 or something like that, like original beers on tap. They had like 2 or 3 like porters or stouts, which I'm a huge fan of. Excellent selection. The porters or the stout that I had, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but absolutely delicious. Kids had a great drinks. Food was, like I said, amazing. So if you're in Houston, you have not been to Buffalo Bayou, seriously recommend it. Get to the 3rd floor. Excellent bar up there. You can order full food and take some excellent glamour shots of yourself, which that's funny. Buffalo Bayou actually posted a picture and we were there the same day. And if you know Kurt, you can see him in the back, but there's a lot of people. So it's almost like finding Waldo there. So pretty fun.
Famous.
You are famous.
More likes than our normal stuff, but it was a Yaloha tropical blonde with mango and pineapple. And to defend myself and why I got something like that, which was delicious and refreshing because it was just a typical Houston. It was hot. It was so hot.
It was very hot.
St. Arnold's, which is usually tolerable because it is outside in this cool shaded venue, and we were just like on the edge of the shade. And yeah, we couldn't. It was really hot. We had a complete freak accident. That I won't talk about because let's just say Dick was in the doghouse for a while. But yeah, no, Buffalo Bayou is an awesome place.
I'll talk about it real quick. So here's a lesson for you men out there. When you're at a public place like that with rusty chairs and on gravel that probably has seen better days and maybe even some floodwaters, if your wife is sitting behind you and wants to go to the bathroom and she gets up, don't do what Kurt deems the fat man shuffle and slightly pick up your chair and move it. Because what happened to me is I picked it up, didn't really move it, and kind of slid backwards right into my wife's, not big toe, but if you would call it the middle finger toe, and basically broke off her toenail. So yeah, needless to say, that was a bloody mess. No pun intended.
First off, it was not called the Fat Man Shuffle. Okay, that was an offensive lineman dancing in the end zone in the 80s. I called it the Lazy Man Hop.
There you go.
Every husband.
There was a fat guy hop in there. There was like a fat innuendo.
They don't want to get up and out of the chair to move. So they do this hop thing. And it's like, it's the first 3 hops. It stays in the same place. And then it kind of goes forward. But you made the big mistake of going backwards on your first hop, you lazy son of a bitch. And then, yes, we did cause a little scene there. But all was good.
Good times.
Before we wrap up that part of our trips, I also went to another brewery the following weekend at Spindle Tap Brewery in Houston. That was also awesome. Had a great time. Lots of beer, lots of goodies that I bought there that I put on the Instagram.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, great pictures you put up.
Well, once again, thanks to my wife's photography. But they do cool things with wrestler themed beers. They do cool H-Town, home to the best, the rest. They have a bunch of cool stuff. Bought a nice little Oilers shirt that they turned it into a tap. So that was cool. But anyway, I just want to throw that out before we go into the rest of our trips and shenanigans.
All right. So the one thing I want to hear about first, before I get into my stuff, I want to hear about Texas training camp.
Yep. So Instagram, I took the sticker. I was reporting live from training camp. I was there. I was on the sideline with my badge and my sticker. And by that, I mean, I was in the crowd with the fans and my family. But either way.
But did you take a little lanyard and put the sticker on it? I'm pressed. Watch out.
If the lanyard is the back of my phone, yes, I did.
Okay.
That was a surprise. That was just random. Houston Texans Facebook and marketing has been on point. They put the link to training camp. I clicked thinking, let's see how much this is. It's free. You just sign up for availability, pick the days that you want to go. They give you the one they have. The only day I picked that I could go was available. Was supposed to be just me and one son. Ended up being me, wife, two sons. And it was a blast. Before I even get into the football part, the stuff for the kids got to throw, the ball at the targets and get their face painted. And if we don't buy an ice cream, $5, we don't spend anything. It was just so cool. And I keep telling people that, and they're like, really? As compared to, the games that'll be a couple $100, but this was awesome.
Depending how good they are this year.
Right. Well, no, that's the thing about football. It could be too crappy. Those tickets are still going to be ridiculous because I think, 16 games. It's not like the NBA where you got 82 chances. And then the football aspect of it, being a Texans fan, wearing the Texans gear. I liked what I saw, man. I've got to not pull that we're going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say, we're going to win the division. We look like we could have a 500 team. Davis Mills has certainly said, I'm the guy, and he's walking around like it. Stingley Jr. had a meh practice that day. I had read reports that he had a much better practice the next day. Petrie from Baylor, I like he. He was out there busting his ass, even on special teams. He was flying around. My kid got a picture with him afterwards and got a football with a bunch of autographs. It was awesome. I didn't even mention that. Free training camp and a football of memories.
Didn't Andre Johnson sign it?
Yeah, we got a picture and signed by the GOAT as we were getting ready to leave. That was the coolest. I was more in shock with him than, my son. I was like, hey, Andre, you're the man. He had to tell me to take my hands off him. I'm just kidding. That did not happen. But I liked what I saw. Brandon Cooks looked good. Damian Pierce, the rookie from Florida, who I've been excited about. Oh, that boy. He can run. He can run tough. He's good. So it was fun stuff. I highly recommend it. I don't know how the other teams do it, but if it's free like the Texans, go. Wife bought a new H-Town shirt.
Nice.
She asked if I wanted one. I said no. I'm going to remind her I said no to that when I order my Petrie or Stingley jersey here in the next couple weeks when Lids does a 25% off. But good stuff. Autographs, memories, fun time. Ate at a good place afterwards. So that was a fun day.
How did long neck Kirk Cousins look out there?
I don't want to get too hyped. But that day he went 6 for 6 on 7-on-7. He went 14 of 17 in team situation with 4 touchdowns. He's looking good out there. Nico Collins, that's another dude that at practice I was like, oh yeah, we gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be all right.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I saw your personal family pictures. I was awesome. Looked like you guys had a great time. A little bit jealous that A, I didn't get to go, but B, I don't care enough about a team to want to go. So if any team I'd go to, it'd be Houston.
I thought that too, though. I thought just practice the kids. It's not.
No, they make an event of it.
They made it. It was a blast. So
That's awesome.
anyway, but that was my fun stuff recently.
Yeah.
You had quite a different experience. You didn't just stay local. You
No.
got up, you got out, and you went to bam, 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 bam. Very jealous, very envious. You have to tell us how the trip to the big NYC, the city that never sleeps, even though you took a nap your first couple hours there. How did it go?
New York, New York. It was great, man. Definitely want to go back. Wife and I were able to drop the kids off at my parents' house, fly out to Dallas for a couple's anniversary weekend. We didn't really get to do anything big for our 10-year. This is our 11 years. So I figured go big or, stay home. No, we got to, first night we were there, we got to go see a live taping of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Really, really entertaining show. Quite interesting. Got BJ Novak was there from The Office. So it's kind of interesting to see him in his new movie that he's doing, promoting that. So much drinking, so much alcohol, so many bars. Like
I did start to wonder at a point. I was like, he has sent me nothing but drinking pictures for the last.
Basically all we did was drink and eat. Yeah, it was like 4.5 days of drinking and eating. Like I can't even go through all of them. So I just give you my highlights. Like we were able to go to Brooklyn Sunday. I went to Brooklyn Brewery, did a tour there, little free tour, nothing crazy. The beer was amazing. Highly recommended. If you're in Brooklyn, you already know. If you're visiting Brooklyn, go there. What's up?
They had that. They're the ones who had that like bourbon barrel stout that's in the black can, right? It's like, did you try that one?
So there's two of them. There's a bourbon barrel stout, or there's a barrel stout, and there's a bourbon barrel done in 4 roses, and that's the one I tried. I had it like straight off the tap.
Yeah,
it was really good on tap. That's the one I took a picture of that I was drinking during the tour.
I had
it was like
2 of those, and I was.
Oh yeah, it's like 13.9%.
Woo!
Yeah, I would definitely pick that up if I saw it. But cool little free tour, great merch section. Didn't buy anything while I was there. And then we hit a couple more bars. Kagan Lantern was a cool little bar, distillery place. I have some pictures of those that I can throw up. But we went to Kings County Distillery. Didn't get any great pictures while it was there, but that was a super, super interesting building. It was almost like a castle in the middle of a very like urban Brooklyn setting. At that point, we had quite a few, but I do remember having their regular Kings County bourbon. I haven't bought a bottle of it on purpose because I wanted to try it from there. I would tell you, man, there was so much in common between like that Kings County, that New York State, like bourbon, and like Texas bourbon or Texas whiskey. Like it's this very like grainy, grassy sweetness to it, unlike anything you're going to find in Kentucky. But it was really interesting to see kind of like the side by side. I would even put it next to like a Garrison Brothers or a Iron Root or something like that, like taste profile. I think if we get together, we should grab a bottle of like Garrison Brothers and grab a bottle of that and do a very New York, Texas tasting. I think it'd be pretty interesting.
I'd be down with that. I've only had New York wise, I believe I've only had Hudson.
Yeah, there's Hudson bourbon. Widow Jane's up there.
Yeah, I did Hudson Baby when I first, like that was the first, like I got in with the my buddy got in good with the liquor store, and it was like, hey, we're getting these few bottles, and that was one of them. Now it's always on the shelf. At the time, not a fan. They were doing interesting things. They're the ones that like play the music into the mini barrels to aid the processing, but would be willing to give it another try as along with this Kings County Distillery.
Kings County would actually pick up and give that like a sober shot. But a cool spot. I took some good pictures. I won't share on the Instagram because they're of us, but my wife and I sitting there hanging out. I think I sent some to you. Cats. We did Cats. It was after a long day, but we did Cats. I do remember most of it. I did not get yelled at. I did not get thrown out. We remembered both my wife and I's ticket. We were able to pay, and we're able to split a pastrami sandwich. We tried their brisket too. The brisket.
Tell me you got a cream soda.
No, we didn't get anything to drink. We just had pastrami sandwiches, and they give you like 2 pickles.
Minnesota. My accents are all over the place today, which just confirms how bad I am at them.
It's okay. I'll forgive you. But no, we did the pastrami sandwich, like chef's kiss, amazing to die for. Got a sample of brisket while we were there. My wife had like the order. She's like, "Don't say anything. I'm ordering." I went, okay. So that was fun. The brisket was like amazing too. I would love to go back there. Well, I think we're definitely going to go back there, like do Broadway shows and stuff like that, probably in a couple of years. But like go to Cats and a few other spots. More food than drinking tour. But I'll end it with saying this: favorite bar. If you're in New York City and you love whiskey, you love great cocktails, everything, not just whiskey. Irish coffee is like a huge thing up there, which we don't have a big selection of down here, at least good bar Irish coffee. Had my best Irish coffee. This place is called the Dead Rabbit, which is down near Wall Street. Amazing. But this bar, Patent Pending, is like, dude, like a real speakeasy. During the day, it's a fucking coffee shop. And then you go there after hours, you go in and it's all dark. And there's like one girl in there. And she's like, how many? And you're like, two. And she's like, all right, 15-minute wait. So you're just standing there, like just standing in this dark coffee shop with a bunch of people. And then they open this big ass like bookcase thing and you go back there and there's only like 12 seats at the bar and maybe like, I don't know, 12 or 10 or 12 booths behind that. And you have I think you're there to be able to stay there for 90 minutes, but you have like a hard cap. And the drinks, I had the best martini, the best Mexican martini I've ever had. The bartenders were fucking amazing. Like,
So you had to work fast.
oh yeah, I was like, I'll take this, and this. And like the menus are like, how would I describe it? Like they're like parchment paper pamphlets almost. Like it's so high class and it's dimly lit. It was like the shit, like everything you want like a speakeasy to be, this place was. So definitely recommend it. Patent Pending.
So this was what? Was this Manhattan, Brooklyn?
This was
Queens.
Yeah, it was
Bronx?
Manhattan. No, it was Manhattan.
Okay.
We stayed in Manhattan, lower Manhattan pretty much the entire time. Like the farthest we went was like 72nd Street, but everything was pretty much lower than you'd have to look it up, but Patent Pending, I want to say it's around like the 30s or 40s streets. So I think it's like near like 7th Avenue, if I remember right.
That's awesome.
But
Looked
highly
like a great trip. Very envious. Definitely
Amazing
encourage me and the wife to get some tickets to the Garden and make a trip sometime next year. That's the plan.
You should do it, man. There's some great spots to stay too. I would honestly, Brooklyn is so fucking cool. And I feel like we didn't even get to touch it. But Brooklyn to Soho is just like one little short train, the L train, back and forth. And it's like a 10-15 minute trip like across. It's so easy. Like I would just if I went back, do Broadway, Soho, Chelsea, Brooklyn. Like those were like that little L right there was fucking amazing.
Sounds like a blast. Looked like a blast. Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
And you have something big coming up next too, don't you?
Taking the family to San Diego, a whale's vagina, if you remember correctly.
I don't know what that means.
From Anchorman? You fucking kidding me?
Never heard of it.
You're such a putz. All right. See, I haven't talked like a New Yorker now. All right.
I'm joking. We've quoted that literal line like every time we've mentioned the Chargers or the Padres. so yeah. Anyway, but yeah, when is that?
San Diego, dude, we're leaving like next Saturday.
Oh, nice. Not recording next Saturday. Let me jot that down, but go for it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a badass trip. We're going to do like the zoo, Balboa Park. It's a family trip, but we're going to hit up like the gas lamp district. The one little late night outing with my wife and I. So we'll see, man. I'm super excited.
Awesome. This podcast is slowly turning into a travel /sports /whiskey show. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it. That was the goal this year for both of us. So we also have some plans for trips in the future. We won't give those details away just yet because it is a while away, but it will be in 2022. And we'll keep y'all posted on that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I just remembered what you were talking about.
That's one of those trips where it's that time frame that it's so far from now. The first 3 days, like after we booked the tickets, we were like texting like this, and then we've got to slow down because we still got quite a while. Things can happen. A whole other disease apparently could come up, like something called monkeypox, but we'll wait. Hopefully we get to make that trip and we'll give more details to come soon. Let's get into the nose of this glass.
Thank God, because I've been like nosing the hell out of this, man. Like this might
be.
With
that said, you go.
Yeah, like this may be one of the. I mean, it's finished in bourbon casks. I know that, right? I think I read that. It has one of like the richest Irish whiskey noses. It doesn't just smell like sweetened flowers, if that makes sense, which is not anything bad, like for any of the good ones. But there's a sweetness, slight oakiness, honey, almost like a hot toddy smell. Like it's like honey and like a little bit of like tea. Yeah, I would say it's a little bit heavier than your average Irish whiskey, a little more bourbon notes in there, but like a good hot toddy is what it smells like. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I get what you're saying because it's like an Irish whiskey syrup.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
and I'll get more into that when we get into the taste, but it's definitely like that's why I think it's hot compared to that light water.
Yeah.
And
it's also a little more proofy though.
I get honey quite a bit, little bit of molasses, like a couple drops, but dude, I'm getting like, and this could be, like I said, the man's man that I am. Like brute
Yes, you are.
aftershave. Like just a little bit of that, just to bring it out and say, this is a man's whiskey from the Shelby Company.
It's like it smells like your old man.
Yes. Like after he went to the Christmas party, probably had a couple smokes, and then come home and that brute smell faded. But you're like, oh yeah.
But there's also a little whiskey in the breath. Yeah, we got you.
He hit the 3 splashes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, I'm going, and with all those things, it'd be amazing if I don't
smells like that.
A plus plus plus.
That's funny.
So yeah, a little bit of honey, a little bit of like Irish whiskey syrup, a little couple drops of molasses, and then yeah, like a little bit of brute aftershave makes me want to go buy some now with inflation, and it's still going strong.
So as far as grades on this, I'm gonna give this. I would argue that dollar for dollar is probably the best smelling Irish whiskey I've smelled. When we go get into the taste, but B plus.
I'm not arguing with you there. I was going to give
There's nothing offensive.
I like it.
I do too.
And that's marketing sucker. I'm going to be like on the positive side of things because how much I love the show and I've shared that. So yeah, we'll go with B plus and we'll get into the third dram.
All right, man. Sounds like a good deal. Let's do it.
Okay, so we're diving into the third dram, which is now going to be our headlines for today. Quite a bit of things going on in sports. We're going to be all over the place. We're not going to try to stay on one so much more than the others, especially with the first one being talked about so damn much this week. So damn much on this show. We've talked about it. I was going to give my big rant and leave it at that for the season. Things have changed in the last 48 hours that we will probably have to discuss it further in the next episode. But Deshaun Watson, it came out on Monday, I believe, that it was going to be a 6-game suspension. His wallet was not going to be hit too bad. And that was the ruling handed down by the judge that was appointed to look over the case. NFL had 3 days to kind of make a decision if they wanted to appeal. I'm thinking that they certainly took a day and a half to take the public's opinion on the matter, and they probably were not surprised at the things that they heard, and they are going to appeal his 6-game suspension. They just hired, I believe, the district attorney from New Jersey today to look over their side of it, and then they will hand down their decision, which the big rumor is they've been saying a year. Things can happen. It could be a year. Could be the 6 games. Maybe they go back to what on the table supposedly it was, let's make a deal at 12 games. That does a lot. That's a good portion of the year. They don't have to worry about him playing Houston, which I think is week 12, and it still hurts their season because if he comes back week 12, I don't think they'll have much of a chance at playoffs or anything like that. But football side of it, we'll get to that in a little bit. Initial thoughts. And we say we don't get political in a very crazy world where we all saw the Johnny Depp debacle couple months ago, sometimes initial reactions aren't what they are. Sometimes more facts come out, and I think a lot of people's opinion of Johnny Depp changed over and he wasn't such the monster. I'm not saying this is the exact same case, but initial reaction to 6 games, that's it. That's what he's getting. And his wallet's not being hit. I think I'm on the popular side of that opinion. Granted, Texans fan, let's be honest. There's going to be Browns fans that say, hey, I just want him to play. There's going to be Texans fans that are like, I hate him. I don't want him to play ever again. I'll take a break and let Dick chime in.
Well, just to note, Amber Heard now filed for bankruptcy. So just if you remember that piece, actually in the last couple of days. So my hot take on this is it's inconsistent. And that's what everybody says, right? It's inconsistent across the board. And it's inconsistent because you're hiring a private arbiter, right? So it's not the NFL. It's not Deshaun Watson's people. It's an arbitrator in the middle. The fact that Calvin Ridley got suspended for a year for betting for 2 fucking games, $1,500 each on him to win in a game. I mean, like, I get the whole Pete Rose effect, but that's bullshit. Like, there's no consistency between the two. I'm going to make a prediction on where this lands. And I won't get into my personal thoughts, but I think this is going to land at 9 games and a fine of $50 million. Sounds right. That ballpark to be paid toward victims of sexual abuse, assault, whatever it may be, like a fund or a charity.
Okay, so to go to that, I think there has been a lot of backlash because he's like, I haven't done anything. So that's part of it.
And his interviews suck. Like, he sucks at interviewing when asked questions like this.
Yeah. Calvin Ridley, and this is where I start taking bits and pieces from what I've seen on TV, what I've seen on the media. Everyone has spoken out on it. Everybody, all the good ones on ESPN, all the bad ones, all the little radio stations, all the little podcasts like this one. Some people have made very good points. Calvin Ridley got in trouble for a rule that there is a specific, hey, you do this, you get this. That's what he did. I think you kind of get in trouble when you start, this is what Big Ben got. This is what Tom Brady got. This is what Adrian Peterson got. And that's a dangerous slope to go down because now you're trying to compare. As easy it is to say is Tom Brady got 6 games for cheating in football. Deshaun Watson got 6 games for possibly traumatizing, 24, 30, however many.
I've heard upwards of 66.
But we don't know.
I know. Well, here's
a
good thing. I like your point about Calvin Ridley. Here's a rule that says you don't do this.
That was not mine. I got that from the thousands.
But you made that point,
videos
right?
On Twitter that I saw.
But there's another rule that's like, and it's like basically like it's not unsportsmanlike conduct, but it's like conduct unbecoming, right? Why is there not a clause that says to include this, right? And not limited to, like an insurance contract has that kind of like for covered perils. It's the same shit. Like this contract, and it comes back to the collective bargaining agreement, right? That has to be in there. Why are there not provisions like that? Because it's just this blanket statement, to your point, when you don't hit one of these 9 that are like, the outlined sins of football, and you go to this 10th one, which is supposed to be a blanket, it's up to this bullshit, like arbitrary ruling. Like it's dumb.
Because I don't know. Like, I don't know what they could do. There's always going to be that gray area.
Sure,
compare it to this one.
But these are black and white situations now. Like, we can use this as an example to say, Big Ben, Ray Rice, Deshaun Watson. These are the things like now that apparently people have done.
But then you're getting okay. So then you're going to sit here and say physical abuse is worse or is equal to sexual abuse and so forth.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but you can say,
but that the league would have to say something like that.
The league
unless they put it under an umbrella. And
right.
It's like,
that's what I'm saying. You have
drugs.
You have this line, and it's number 10, and under that, it's a bunch of sub bullets to include. If you hit any of these, not to exclude anything, is 15 games. It's a whole season. Boom. If it's physical assault on one person, domestic abuse, whatever it may be, boom, 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 boom. These are things, and it's proven in court.
It's neither of these. I don't even think Big Ben's proven in court.
It settled out of court.
So how do you sit there and say Big Ben, one victim, Deshaun Watson,
you'd hire a private
question mark.
You hire a private judge to make a ruling, and that's what they're doing, a third party. And if that third party says, yes, that happened, then it's not up to that third party to say, oh, this is 6 games or 10 games. It's, yes, it happened all year. Or permaban. You just say it's not acceptable in the league at all.
I like that. I just don't know what dream scenario where that outline is written with no.
Oh, where you have it'll never happen because of the CBA process. The Players Association
has been thrown around in a couple radio, and you're like, that's jail time. He served jail time.
Yeah, because it was proven in criminal court.
And then he misses what, a year? Was that end up being like 2 years or a year? Or,
I don't know. It was a while. He wasn't fit when he came back.
Right,
we realized we spent how much time on one bullet.
Yes, I know, but we could spend quite a lot more. I'm not going to give an estimate on what I think because, like I said, we'll get a ruling and we'll be able to talk about that later. Brittany Griner,
bullshit.
That was delivered today. Found guilty in Russia, 9 years. Sentenced. Some things like ESPN saying this were expected. It's really going to depend on if the USA can trade. If anything, we'll say this. Russia is certainly not evolved when it comes to cannabis like the United States has. You made the comment earlier. This isn't the 70s. I saw a TikTok today. You don't know if it's true or not, but some guy got out of jail after 30 years for cannabis, and the first billboard he sees is a "Hey, we deliver cannabis to you" sign. Don't know if that's true, but
that's probably true.
That's happened.
It sounds like New York City.
Yeah. So, there's going to be two sides of the fence here. You did something bad, but I think most people are like, come on, 9 years? Like,
I mean, the sad thing is, like, we know it was a sham trial. And I'll just say it's a sham trial. It's a bullshit situation. And at the end of it, they're just using Brittany as a political pawn. She'll get back. I mean, we'll get her back. I mean, Biden came out and said,
but is it? Is it?
100%.
Like, because the other guy that they were saying would be a part of the trade, essentially, as it is between the U.S. and Russia, similar situation, but he wasn't a Brittany Griner. He was some just old dude, same situation, looked like the same video at the airport, had cannabis in his shoe. I don't know. He was serving or he was either being ready to go to trial or something to where he could be in the exact situation. So I don't know if this was just a Brittany Griner thing. I think this was a Russian law thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. Yeah, but fuck Russian law. I mean, it's not a real. It's a country that's pushing forward a false flag operation in Ukraine. Like, it is. I don't want to get into it, but it's a bullshit.
We have Russian listeners.
We do. It's a bullshit government run by an autocrat. That's all there is to it.
Now, in case that one guy is Putin, let's slow down a bit.
Yeah, don't poison me, buddy.
Bad enough we're so close to the cartel. Let's pump the brakes.
So what I would say is it's not funny. It is comical, though, the way that we're talking about prisoners being traded like NFL draft picks right now. Not us, but the entire media or like everybody. So that's where I'll leave it. These are people and their lives that matter. And that's what I'm going to call it. It's bullshit. So, but
once again, like the Watson, all we could do is hope that the right thing happens.
Indubitably. But one of my favorite things that I saw today was Paul Feinbaum
talk about this.
And Saban saying 2021 was a fucking rebuild year. I mean, it's funny. Come on. Like, that's what he said immediately.
Rebuild year, though. They lost to A&M.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, that kicker's video where his family's like praying for him on the sideline still gets me chills every time. Yeah, I mean, Feinbaum, I like
lost in the finals. You have a Heisman winner. You went 13-1. Shut up. That's not a rebuild year, but it's a rebuild year for Saban because
they lost to A&M and Georgia.
I'm sorry, 12-2. My bad.
Yeah, like he had to backtrack to the last time Saban made and like, okay, well, what do you want Saban to do? He's such a perfect guy that he even markets correctly and sells cars and builds houses. What do you want to say? Like, we just got our ass kicked by Georgia and move on? He's got to give them something to look forward to down there in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at that point. I mean, it's funny. It's once again, it's comical, not funny.
Well, like Feinbach did say that he was complaining about the new NIL. Like everybody's complaining about that.
Yeah, but
Like,
Saban's complaining about it for a different reason. Saban's complaining about it because
people are out recruiting him.
exactly. Yeah, which for me, if I'm Saban, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick one class, and that's a class I'm going to see through the senior year, and then I'm retiring at this point because I have more money than God.
Slow down. They're going to compete. They're going to be fine. He's going to put the rings on the table and say, come play for me, baby.
Sure.
And he's still going to get
But when he retires?
I would retire for other reasons, not because I'm scared.
No. What's Alabama?
Number one recruiting. I'd retire because I've done, like, go enjoy life.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. He's 73. Go enjoy life.
Looks good for
we don't,
73.
Yes, but we all don't live forever. Like it doesn't happen.
He might.
I don't know.
The next thing, I don't know anything. I listen to Pat McAfee's show regularly. I have not heard this. What is he doing? Co-announcing 6 college football games on ESPN2? Why is he on ESPN2? Get his ass on ESPN1 or ABC in primetime, baby.
He's doing it with Peyton Manning, the Mannings in Omaha production. So they're bringing him on.
Get his ass off ESPN2. Put him on ESPN.
I agree. I think it's cool because we're going to see like McAfee in like the flesh, like, you know, on not just on a fucking podcast or YouTube.
So I saw his interview with Nick Caserio, who's the Texans GM, and he's another person who got me fired up. People gave him shit about wearing headsets and being too involved. He was out on the field at practice slinging the rock, throwing out routes, running around. And as a guy who was a shitty high school coach, it's hard not to get fired up about that because as much as he's the GM, I wanted to jump the fence, go grab the football, and just start slinging it on routes. Like, he looks like he's just having a blast as one of the guys out there. And I think you kind of got to enjoy that. And I liked it. But I heard his awesome interview with Pat McAfee the other day. They talked for like 30 minutes. Hilarious, good stuff. Check it out if you have the time and if you're interested in becoming a Houston Texans fan.
You know, my favorite Pat McAfee interview? Aaron Rodgers. When he was immunized.
That was a good one. Didn't Aaron Rodgers come out? I didn't click on the, like, because we were looking for headlines, and that's why I still, like, you picked the Saban one out of everything. Something about him saying psychedelics helped him win 2 MVPs or something. Did you see that one yet?
No, but that does not surprise me at all. I mean, just thinking about our conversation with Dan from Bourbon Matters, like when he talks about him, like what a crazy ass dude he is. Like that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I didn't.
I kind of like him more for it.
Oh, I do too. And then did you the Con Air showing up to
that was amazing. He did that on purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing.
No shit, Sherlock. Way to figure that one out.
Did you see Russell Wilson showing up to practice though?
I've had enough of Russell Wilson.
But he got out of the truck, and I guess he has like some lifted ass like zombie post apocalypse truck.
Yeah.
People were giving him so much shit.
Rogan. Let's continue on. This show has always been football heavy, and it will continue to be football heavy. We tend to look for elsewhere.
I don't want to talk about the
live golf.
I don't want to talk about that.
Good, bad. Do we care?
I don't care. Actually, I do care. I do care because I think it's bullshit. The PGA is getting so pissy with all the people are going to live. Like, let them get their money. Why do you care? They're free agents, man. So they play where they play.
So you do support Saudi Arabia? I'm just kidding. I don't know all the details about that, but the part of it's that conflict, a part of it's, apparently that's a huge conflict about it, but I'm not going to dive into the details because it's golf and we're
not getting political.
Well, okay. We just talked Watson and Griner for
those were not politics. It's not a left or right issue.
I'm going to say for golf,
all I care is that John Daly is still doing like TikToks and getting shitty.
Could fix the country if he wanted to.
I saw a Instagram, TikTok video, whatever it was. It's one of the dudes like it's some page, and all they do is like go bullshit with like golf players and like Charles Barkley and shit like that when they're golfing. But they've been hanging out with John Daly lately, and I guess he ordered like a bottle of Kettle One from the bar cart guy, and he brought it over, and John Daly just opens it up, takes a big swig, and goes, "That's Arkansas mineral water at its finest, right there." And I was like, "You son of a bitch! I love you so much." I don't want to golf, but I want to golf with him.
I don't want to waste time on a golf course. I want to go party.
Exactly. Well, then he was like wearing the same outfit, so it had to be the same day, and he was fucking just ripping them $500 a hole with these guys. Oh, he's amazing.
On a serious note, Vince Scully passed away recently.
Great transition there, man.
Party, you live, you die. It happens. Very big figure in the sports world. Several important calls, including Gibson and the catch. Several memorable quotes. Lots of memories for Dodgers fans. Just want to take the time to pick up our glasses to Vince Scully and say, heck of a life.
Salute.
One of the best. With that said, let's get into the palate of this glass.
This is where it gets a little rougher for me. It gets more Irish whiskey. This to me tastes just like Bushmills. Like it's Bushmills. A little more like maybe
Prohibition recipe.
Maybe a little bite to it.
Made by the Peaky Blinders. Shelby Limited. And I didn't even notice Thomas Shelby's name on the front of the label. It says Thomas Shelby, circle. The proprietor. I'm probably reading that wrong.
I don't know. You have a hell of a Scottish accent, so.
I'm from England, from the 1920s, actually. In the back, whiskey's good proofing water tells you who's real and who isn't. Tommy Shelby. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The nose is what, like, oh, this isn't your typical Bushmills. And then the taste is, oh, this is $27 Bushmill.
Yeah. But that being said, what's a typical bottle of Bushmills going to run you at? 23?
If I tell you I've bought anything bigger than like a airplane bottle of Bushmills, I'd be lying to you. I do have the tendency. Oh boy, you can tell we're getting into those later drams of Irish whiskey. I do have the urge to start singing old Irish songs. If I don't know, other than Sinead O'Connor.
I'm much more of an Irish rock guy. Bushmills original, about 26, so about same price range. So that being said, we'll talk about this when we finish it out, but keep that in mind. All right. This is where, well, I guess we got to grade it, right? We got to grade the taste.
Calm down there. We remember in College Station when we go watch the Blackguards?
Yes.
Good times.
Great times.
Dude, yeah. So I'm gonna give this a B minus, and I kind of want to put it B minus, like just in the Irish whiskey category, because if we're going overall, it may be like back to a C plus for Bushmill and me.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I'd agree with that.
Because you're right, there isn't much different than the taste. Like, it's Irish whiskey. It's strong. It's like water, but somebody poured a type of alcohol in there, brute maybe, possibly.
But when I drink a Guinness, this is all I want to drink with it. I don't want to drink Guinness and bourbon. That doesn't make me happy.
Oh, no, you don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm in an Irish mood. Like, that's what I want to drink. Like, I drink no bourbon other than Kings County while I was up in New York. It was all like every pub we went to was Guinness, and Scotch and Irish whiskey.
I dig that. But the New York, besides Brooklyn, the local beer scene's pretty up there.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I just drink Guinness, man. Like, that's my beer when I'm there. Like, unless I'm going to a brewery. This is the thing I love about the Northeast, whether it's New Jersey, DC, New York City, where we've been. I'm sure Boston's even worse in a good way. Everybody has Guinness on tap. Every effing bar, the shittiest dirty dive bar, the highest class tea place has Guinness on tap.
Shitty, dirty dive. Speaking of shitty, dirty, did you get shitty, dirty water hot dogs?
Did not.
You didn't go to You didn't go to New York. Shut your mouth. Trip. You just ruined every. How?
Because I had pizza instead.
No. Bullshit. And you're telling me you were slammed the whole time?
Did
you see a hot dog vendor?
So last time we were in New York City for like 5 hours, we did the cart hot dog. I don't need to do it again.
I feel like you're making that up. I feel like you're trying to
I have picture proof. I will send you at the end of this episode
of you eating a hot dog.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
All right. I'll flip too. I don't know what it's going to do for you later, but I'll send it to you.
Anywho. All right, good stuff. So we kind of gave our tasty notes. We said it's like Bushmill and gave like a C plus B minus kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, Fort Dram.
All right, man. So we already talked about Watson. We don't need to rehash that Fabergé egg of his contract. I don't want to talk about that. Lamar Jackson's contract, though. Does he deserve a new one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, we're same page. No argument.
Let's keep this simple.
That was pretty simple.
No, that's not. Everyone knows he needs a new contract, but does he need? Let's keep it simple. Yay, nay. Highest paid quarterback in the league, and if not, under who? Do you pay him as much as Josh Allen?
No.
Yes.
He gets paid more than Watson, though.
Yes. I think he gets paid more than I think he gets paid more than yearly.
I said less than Mahomes.
No, I think he gets paid more.
He deserves more than $50 million a year.
I think he deserves just underneath Rodgers.
What is Rodgers' active contract?
I don't know. I know he's the highest paid yearly. And you could look that up as I give you my reasons. And this is another thing that has been said by the guys that are a lot smarter than me, but it's a very good point to make. Lamar Jackson is that offense. Like, they don't like Mahomes. They probably do a lot of building that playbook around him, but it involves the weapons that he has. Lamar Jackson, they do the playbook like, we have Lamar Jackson, let's do this.
Okay.
And he's in that very unique situation. And this is pretty much what maybe Ryan Clark, who I have listened to a bunch recently and have fell in love with, and I think he's a great guy and want to hang out with him.
Okay, so let me revise my answer now that I'm looking in front of me. Number one is, for reference, we're on the same page. Number one, Aaron Rodgers, 50.3 a year. Deshaun Watson, number two, 46. Patrick Mahomes, 45. Josh Allen, 43. Derek Carr, 40. Matt Stafford, 40. Dak Prescott, 40. That's the top 6-7, right? Matt and Dak are tied. Deshaun shouldn't be on this list. Lamar should be paid 45, 46. I think. Yeah. Okay. So he should be the second, third.
No, I'd say paid. 48, 49. Like, I think he's up there because of what he does. And then you also have to, like, what's always the big thing about contract years? Like, I can get hurt.
Yeah. Well, he's already been
out of
hurt,
these
though.
Yes. And out of these quarterbacks, who's most likely to be hurt?
Lamar Jackson.
He's the hardest one to probably catch, but he's also the one who's out there and can get hurt the most. With everything considered, and the way the contract game is just stupid these days, he should be the second high with the MVP. Granted, he don't have the Super Bowl. But yeah, if I'm and then who the hell else are you paying on the Ravens? Give him his money.
So I'm looking at the list, and it's pissing me off. Kirk Cousins makes just as much as Russell Wilson.
Kirk Cousins has won an award for how you handle your money in the past 10 years because of how much he has made.
Jared Goff makes 33.5. It's that legacy contract, man.
So from the Rams, a little better than me. So $33 million more than me. So.
Well, 33.5. So you throw the football $500,000 worth. That's what you do.
If you put me on tape, watch what I do.
All right, Uncle Ricky, calm down. Rico.
So, Uncle Ricky. Okay, that's done. Next thing, Baker Mayfield found a home within the recently, and he's basically in a quarterback duel with Sam Darnold over in Carolina. Once again, let's keep this simple. Does he start, and are they going to be a good team?
They'll start, and they'll be a 9-win team.
I don't know, man. Early reports from training camp have been rough.
Do you disagree he's going to start?
Before the training camp word, I was going to say no problem. But like I said, it's been rough. I think he will start. I think they are a 7 or 8 win team.
I don't see how we're too dissimilar.
Gone from Carolina.
Like every other quarterback after a year? Got it.
Yes. Okay. Canton Hall of Fame game was tonight. I turned it off. It was like 13-0. I don't know what the score is now. Are you looking at the TV?
It's 20-3, Las Vegas.
From what I saw, the Raiders looked okay, but the Jaguars also looked bad. Walker had a hell of a first play, their number 1 draft pick. He got off the edge fast and got a very questionable roughing the passer call because he kind of tapped heads with him. That speed, that burst, that was awesome to see. You can fix where you're hitting the quarterback when you get to them. It's the getting there that's the hard part. And that was a good little first impression. Not a good first impression overall by the Jaguars, though.
No,
so,
their defense still looks like shit. Trevor Lawrence, I do not think is the next Peyton Manning, as many comparisons as people try to die.
And he didn't play. So, to be fair, starting quarterbacks did not play. I don't think Adams played. So, still very early on. We are still like a month away from fantasy draft pick, to put it in perspective of how far we are from that.
Not even, bro. We're 22 days.
Okay. So, sorry, Mr. Albert Einstein. I
do math good.
Thoughts?
26 minus 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're drafting on the 26th. It's the 4th. It's 22 days away.
Mm-hmm. Do we care to list off all the inductees or just say
we handled this?
All those.
Congratulations to all. We already handled this back when they got announced. So yes, we're good.
Congratulations to all the Hall of Fame players. Now, we're actually sticking to the plan, and we've actually been a little consistent on the last couple episodes. We've drank the same whiskey, and we're going to do a segment that we promised to do. We broke down the AFC and NFC West last time. We gave you the same. We're going to give you the same 2 things. How we think that the standings are going to end at the end of the year. How we think the standings will be at the end of the year. And the player to watch in the division, not who we think is going to be the best player, just who's going to be interesting to watch. And also, we're going to give you our overall thought on the division. So 3 things, I guess. All right, I'll start by giving a broad overview of the division and some of the things that happened. We have the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, and the New York Jets. Some big things going on this year is we've got Tyreek Hill over in Miami, a big year for Tua. Josh Allen returns with the Buffalo Bills. They look like they're going to be the early favorites. New England's doing New England things. They've got Mac Jones year 2 under Bill Belichick. And the New York Jets, Zach Wilson apparently is trying to participate in American Pie 4 or 5 or whatever segment that movie was on. And yeah, that's what we've got going on in the AFC. It's still the Patriots division. Will always be the Patriots division, but maybe not this year. East. Dick, care to chime in?
That was all the American Pies. It was always about Stifler's mom. So with that being said, so the AFC East, in my opinion, is the most open and shut conference in the entire league. Division. Yes. Sorry. Division.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's pretty much it, man. I mean, we can do the final standings, but I don't think we're going to disagree here.
I don't think we will, but I do want to say, what needs to happen for that to happen. I have Buffalo, Miami, New England, New York. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think the flip here is possibly going to be New England in front of Miami.
Right, and that's what I want. Buffalo, I think, is a strong team. They're right there.
They've got it on lock.
The worst 18 seconds of defense ever played away from being in the Super Bowl and possibly winning. I think they, I'm sorry. No, they would have had to have played Cincinnati the next week and probably could have easily handled them. I don't know. So I think they're the favorites for sure. I just feel like Miami, Tua just needs to take a step. They totally added offensive weapons with Tyreek Hill. And I'm more of rooting for them more than I am like I'm hoping they do better, and this is where they're at. Tua doesn't grow, they're possibly at the end of this division. Or if Tua gets hurt again, they're at the end of this division. And that's also very possible with his track record. New England is consistent enough to where they're going to be third. I don't see them making the playoffs this year, though. I think it was a weak division last year. They were able to get in, but I think Miami's going to be better. I think New York's going to be more competitive, but I don't think this is the year. I think they possibly make a stride. I don't think they do a 2-year turnaround like the Cincinnati Bengals, even though that's a very high ceiling and very unlikely, but I don't think they do that big of a progress yet. So I will keep it Buffalo, Miami, New England, and New York.
Yeah, I'm not going to vehemently disagree with you on any of those. Like I said, Miami, New England could probably be flipped. I do agree with you. Tyreek Hill is my player to watch, at least within the league, because I think if Tyreek, can be Tyreek, and to your point, Tua stays healthy, you got a pretty volatile offense. I mean, they've got a pretty good tight end there. The defense, I can't say is amazing or horrible off the top of my head. I could see them competing, possibly making the playoffs as a wild card, but I think that'd be a stretch. I don't think that I've never really been a Mac Jones believer, so I just don't know what it is. And I don't know who the fuck is on the Jets other than Zach Wilson. So
I'm glad you asked. So there is a couple other potential people that I had for player to watch. Remember, for the third time, not who we think is going to be the best, just who has our attention throughout the year. I'm going Zach Wilson here. It could be the fact that they came out with a shirt, Barstool, that said throwing bombs, banging moms. A couple of people have already bought it.
Great.
Also because I've heard a couple people, like I think Chris Sims said before that game today, that he could possibly have the biggest growth from the second-year group of quarterbacks. I hope it's Davis Mills, but for personal reasons. But yeah, I'll be watching him to see if he is that dude that I kind of thought was a wild card and could do good things at a BYU. Other possible honorable mentions there, Von Miller over at Buffalo, see what he does as he comes to kind of the end of his career, I think. But he's more of a Texas boy fan favorite that I would keep an eye on. Sauce Gardner was one of the ones I was hoping if the Texans did pick him, I would not have been upset. We'll see how he does, see if he's the lockdown corner that he was at Cincinnati. But for the reasons previously mentioned, I'm going Zach Wilson here.
Love it. Just for the t-shirt.
Over in the NFC East. All right, this is going to get interesting for us.
This is good. Yeah.
That we will not turn this into what people will think it is. There's not going to be a Dallas Cowboys vent session.
Oh, really?
It will be. So we have the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the New York Giants, and the Washington, what's our name again? Oh, yeah, Commanders.
No. We go Commandos.
Yes, we go Commanders. So we big news in that division. Philly got a pretty good wide receiver from the Titans. I guess he's okay. New York Giants had an awesome draft. The Washington Commanders got a name and uniforms that bleh. They also got a quarterback. Bleh. Carson Wentz came over, aka Dick's doppelganger. The Dallas
I hate Cowboys, that's the thing, because I like to call him glass ass Wentz. So
yeah, so glass ass Dick. Dallas Cowboys. What do we say about the Dallas Cowboys that we haven't already said already? Same tune. Well, how's that saying go? Same story, different tune, same year, same beer, same whatever. Who cares?
Same story, different year.
Yep. That's what I said.
I really have to wonder though, like Amari Cooper's gone, right?
They just lost a wide receiver for several weeks because he broke his foot, I believe.
Who? Not Lamb. Lamb's fine. But you have to ask yourself this question, like, what does that offense look like? Because Zeke has not been playing like Zeke. At least last year, he didn't play like Zeke, right? Didn't get as many carries, didn't get as many yards per carry. You've got Dak, you've got Lamb, but like, what other offensive weapons do you have? Like, you got Dalton Schultz. I just don't see that offense being as potent as it's been in the years past. I think they're really going to have a unknown step up.
James Washington just broke his foot. He's out 6 to 10 weeks.
That's fun. I'm just going to jump to my player to watch, and that's Zeke. And I'm looking at this from more of like a fantasy perspective. Not that I actually give a shit about these players. It's really fucking shallow to say. But like Zeke is one of those guys that I drafted very high last year. He was my workhorse because he balled out the year before. But I had this huge ass question mark whether or not I draft him this year. Tyreek, I'd totally draft. I think he's going to produce as long as someone throws him the ball. I think there's a lot of these like wide receiver sleepers out there that did really well last year that are either, you don't know if they're in better or worse positions, but then you have like these backs like Josh Jacobs, like Zeke, like didn't necessarily have the game breaking, season winning seasons last year. Like, do you draft him? I guess that's more my question here.
There's a position in the draft that, yeah, you'll get to a point where if Zeke's there, you'll take him.
Yeah, third round.
No. Like when you see there's running backs, it's so many, and then you fall off. He may not be the first couple that you grab anymore, but he's up there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested to see Jalen Hurts and what Philly does, because they could sneak in there. They could outperform Dallas a couple times and win the division. I don't think they will. You went to player to watch. I'll give standings first and why. I do think the Cowboys are still in a shitty division. I still think the fact that they have the easiest schedule will benefit them if they still stay healthy and nothing like the Dak freak accident happens. I think Philly's next. They're going to be very competitive. Once again, kind of similar to the Tua situation. How good is Jalen Hurts going to be, or how is he going to get? This is probably a make or break year for him, where this is the year if they decide he's the dude or not. Washington and New York go back and forth. These guys may have the same record. They may end up the same way. I don't know if Daniel Jones is the guy. I'm excited about some of the things they added in the draft, including my player to watch. And then the Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz, same thing. I think he's joining a not very good team. The defense can be good. He does have some wide receivers, but I don't think he's the one that makes him the difference.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I like your assessment.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay with that. Do you have any?
My I'm going to do the same thing. Like my flip could be New York or Philly. If Daniel Jones breaks out of his shell, I think they have a chance. I mean, he has the potential. He has the raw materials. I think they've got enough set of offensive weapons to be okay. But Philly has the most upside here, right? They have to. I mean, Jalen Hurts can play. He's shown sparks of greatness.
Dude, and honestly, Washington could be good, but it's that damn name.
No, they do. They have Carson Wentz.
They have some receivers. They have Chase Young, who I think is out the first game. But
I go back to
that damn name.
Carson Wentz is the quarterback that threw a pick six from his own end zone into his own end zone. I don't know how you do that. That play just flashes in my head every time I think of Carson Wentz. And the quarterback that made that decision after how many effing years in the league is not the guy who's going to make you better. So I
Yeah,
can't
that
see
whole
it.
situation, how it ended in Indianapolis was pretty brutal. Okay, yeah. So Kayvon Thibodeau is my player to watch, man. That guy just looks like something special. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder because how he was supposed to be the dude and then dropped down. And he just looks like a freak of nature. Kind of reminds me of the freak
Javon
Curse a
Curse.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they use him a little different than the Titans use Curse, but he looks like if
Well,
he
the
gets
Eagles
off
use
to a
Curse.
hot start, yeah. Well, by that time he was not the same Curse. I'm gonna be watching him because he's another one that if the Texans had taken him, I was gonna be very happy. So that is our overall thought of the NFC and AFC East. We will continue to do this. If we time it right, we should have 2 more recordings before the opening of the season, and we'll be able to do the NFC and AFC North, and then
Production
the
note, though.
NFC and the AFC South.
Production note. Do this earlier in the recording so I'm not 2 whiskeys in.
I agree, because this Irish whiskey has hit us pretty good. We will be sounding like Conor McGregor, my friend. Let's keep it simple, man. We've given them our thoughts, we've given them our insight. Rating on the glass.
B-.
I was gonna go B- because of price and overall, but the Peaky Blinders just cool. Like, this label is cool. The show's cool. Everything's cool with Peaky Blinders. I'm gonna go B.
Fair enough. Won't argue with you there. The Peaky Blinders doesn't do as much for me because I haven't watched the entire series yet. I'm literally 2 episodes in. So
it's a work of art.
I've been watching The Boys, man. Like, that show is so fucked up on so many levels. I know you haven't watched it either.
Did I mention The Bear the last time we recorded?
The Bear.
Yeah, I may have. That's been the last one. It was 1 season, binged it. It's the dude, the brother from Shameless, does a heck of a job. It has like a 99 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's about a cooking show. Check it out. It's a quick one. It's like 6 episodes. Anyway, cross that goal line.
Let's get there.
Okay, so we went over some recent escapades that we've been on, a trip together, training camp, trip to New York. We went over some headlines, Deshaun Watson, Brittany Griner, and then we got into a little more football, talked some headlines, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, and then we broke down the AFC, NFC East by giving you our predictions and players to watch. Dick, once again, let the fine listeners know where they can interact with us.
All right. Thanks for that, Kurt. So the big things to remember are to follow us on Instagram as well as our Facebook page. Those are both 4thram, 4THDRAM. You can always contact us through our website, 4thramandgoal.com, or email us at 4thramandgoal@gmail.com. But more importantly, make sure you're telling your friends about us. That helps us grow the show and really understand what our audience is, who our base is, and make sure we're creating content that is specific to what you need and want. And make sure to like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do on Apple Podcasts, Audible, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera, wherever you're listening to us tonight. Subscribe, rank, review, whatever that bullshit is, and help us grow the show. So with that, Kurt, I'm going to kick it back over to you for the quote of the episode.
Thank you, sir. So, of course, with the recent events, we have to do a quote. I don't even feel like it's right because his voice was just so iconic, and I'd rather just play, a great clip of him. But I'll try my best to give it justice. The great Vin Scully once said, "As long as you live, keep smiling because it brightens everyone's day." Positive outlook, positive attitude from one of the great ones that we recently lost. Once again, cheers to him. And to the great listeners, to the next snap and the next dram.
Drink on, drammers.
Dude, you sounded just like the guy who does hot ones when he's trying to reel off the questions so fast because it's just like burning. That was, except we're going to do a show where you have to reel them off before you're just so drunk. You have to put it together.